Hi, my name is Jacob Francois. As you may already know, I am a photographer currently living in the Philadelphia area. So today we're just going to talk about three cameras that I miss that I regret selling. There are a bunch of ways to say those lines for SEO purposes, but it is what it is. The three cameras are, just get straight to the point, are the Leica M10-P, GFX, Fujifilm GFX 50R, and then the Leica SL2-S. That camera is really like a point 0.5, and we'll talk about it. So let's start with the Fujifilm. I just missed that camera. I owned that camera during COVID, so I didn't get the opportunity to really play around with it. I didn't travel with it. I didn't uh, do any studio work with it. But I do know the few times that I did go out and shoot, I do know when my girlfriend was running, my fiance was running a marathon in Far Rockaway, it created some of the best images I've ever seen. I maybe to this day. There are some files that I can't find for some reason, these raw files of these I think there are about 4 or 5 surfers. I think I have the JPEG, so if I do, I'm gonna show them now. Um, I don't know where I put those raw files. But anyway, that camera is just amazing. Everything about it, the form factor, as you may know, I do shoot with the Leica M10. So I do love the rangefinder style bodies, and that's probably why I gravitate to that camera so much. Also because it's a medium format camera, so it's larger than, life. Of course, they're larger sensors. I get it, whatever. But let's not get into that. Um, but it just creates awesome files. I had the opportunity to play with the GFX, or I rented out from at my local camera store, the GFX 102. And while that camera's a beast, it's amazing. Autofocus is great. All that jazz has the bells and whistles. Yes, I get it. Kudos, Fujifilm. I still prefer if you guys made a GFX 50R too. Honestly, with just a bit better autofocus, I guess. And I'll be happy, honestly, that doesn't need much than that. But yeah, I just missed that camera, and I still to this day find myself going to Adorama or B&H or KH and figuring out if I could snag one of those up for roughly, closer to $1,000. Because I've been itching to play with that combination of the GFX 50R with, I forget the camera or the lens brand. You may already know it's a 65 millimeter. I forget, like 1 point something. Which every time I see that combination, I'm like, holy, I really want that camera. Um, But I was fortunate enough, I had the opportunity to sell that camera to actually purchase my first Leica. I don't know if you've seen that video on why I shoot Leicas, but I will link it somewhere on the screen. But it did that Fujifilm GFX 50R with, extra couple of dollars allowed me to get my Leica M10P. So let's talk about that camera. I miss the hell out that camera. And it's funny because I still do own the Leica M10 monochrome. I did own the Leica M10R. I sold the P and got those two cameras at the Leica Soho store. Unfortunately, they're no longer open. I will miss that store. Um, but just something about it. I no longer have the R, so I'm still craving that rangefinder color camera. I do need an EDC, color EDC. I do love my monochrome, but there are moments where I'm like, crap, this will really look good in color. And I honestly wish I still had that P. It's something about that camera. I think it's also because I've used it for so long is probably the reason why I miss it more than possibly getting, the M11 or playing around with the M10R again. I took roughly 14,000 photos with that camera. There's another video about dedicated to just like a homage to that camera. I'll link it somewhere here. I just missed that camera. It was my EDC. It was everywhere I went. It traveled with me, and I wish I still have it. The third camera is the Leica SL2-S. The reason why I said earlier it's more closer to a 0.5 is because I do own the SL3, and before owning the SL3, I did have the SL2. So honestly, should I still miss it? Maybe not, but to this day, I do think that I want to have a backup camera or a backup SL camera, and I think it might just be the SL2, unless like creates the SL3S, whatever. Hopefully that's coming out soon. But then the price of that might be a lot more than a used SL2S. I'll probably still stick with the SL2S. Um, Yeah, the only reason why I sold that camera is because me and my fiance were trying to buy a home in the Philadelphia area, and I just needed to pay off some cards. So I sold that camera, paid off some debt, and we purchased a home. So I don't regret it, but I still miss that camera. And I think it's because it was the first camera that really showed me what the SL was capable of doing. Like I said previously, I had owned an SL. Well, that camera, the original camera is amazing. It's still amazing. I mean, if you can afford it, still pick it up. I think right now it's roughly around 2,000 bucks. Even SL2S or SL2 is, I think, around 25, 3,000, $3,500. All great cameras. If you can, pick it up. Um, but yeah, I just miss those three cameras. I think out of the three of them, which one I actually be able to get sooner than later? I don't know. Honestly, all three of them, if I could convince my fiance, but we're not, let's not talk about that. Anyway, are there cameras that you miss or you regret selling that you think that you should have kept and, tried to use more often, or you have that feeling every time you see someone post that right lens camera combination, you're like, crap, I wish I still had that body or I still had that lens. Anyway, you can leave your marks in the comments section below. Um, like and subscribe. I believe I'm supposed to say that. Um, but anyway, talk soon. Peace.